I want to share with you a very interesting story. I landed on this story quite a couple of years back, and ever since I listened and read this story, it changed my life. And I hope it will actually also open your eyes and change your life. This story is entitled The Parable of the Pipeline. You might have landed on this somewhere. And it's interesting. I don't know who, I'm not the author of this parable, but somebody out there wrote this down, and I found it quite captivating, especially given our economical systems, given our mindsets, and the way we are trained by our educational systems to operate as individuals. So, in this parable, the author narrates a story. He talks of two young men, two young boys, Bruno and Pablo. Bruno and Pablo had grown up in a small village that was quite a busy one. The challenge in this village was scarcity of water. Villagers had to commute miles and miles to be able to carry water all the way from the valleys to the top of the hills and the mountains that they used to stay. Now, you could call it the village council or the LOC or the chairperson of that community looked at these young boys. He told them that if you want to make a living for yourselves, I am eager and ready to give you a job. The village had a big water tank, call it a water cistern, and it required day in and day out to be filled. And of course, the village council paid a commission to whichever individuals were available that day to fetch water, to carry buckets of water all the way from the valleys, miles far away from the hills, to be able to supply water to the villagers. So Bruno and Pablo were very excited, as young as they were, as passionate as they were. They wanted to make a living. They wanted to find sustainability for their lives. And it wasn't long that these guys were recruited, and they were given buckets. So every day they would make rounds down the hill, up the hill, several rounds until they would fill the water tank, or call it the cistern. Now, when they started getting paid, Bruno was excited. Now he had some monies to spend, be able to afford certain things, be able to go out on certain things. And for Pablo realized that this kind of model was not sustainable. Because at the end of each day, he would feel tired, frustrated, the body aching, and even the little pay he got, if he chose to spend it on something luxurious, tomorrow it was no more. So he started thinking, how can I make money even when I'm sleeping? How can I be able to earn without riding on the disadvantage of my body? Because tomorrow I'm going to be old. A couple of months I might be sick and I might not be able to show up. What will happen if I am unable to carry the buckets? And of course, he started having these conversations with his friend Bruno. But Bruno was like, what are you talking about? We shall carry this water, we shall be wealthy, we shall make a living, we shall be able to do all the things that we do. All that we need to do is now even to carry more buckets. So with Bruno's mindset, he bought more big buckets so that he can carry more water. But Pablo started thinking of an idea. How can I make this work? Then there clicked the idea of building a pipeline. A pipeline that was going to fetch water all the way from the valleys up the hills. But he knew from the bottom of his heart that this was something close to impossible. But that did not mean it was not possible. It was going to take time, it was going to take effort, it was going to take a process, and perhaps it would call for a team to dig ditches that were going to allow the pipes to run through and carry this water all the way to the hills. He shared this idea with Bruno, but Bruno was like, why waste time? It's going to take you months, if not years, to have this system in place. Why do you waste time, and this thing is not going to pay off now? Why don't we carry our buckets and get our daily money? Well, Bruno never came on board, but Pablo, he was resilient. Even despite that, he proceeded to carry out and execute his plan. So he would do the morning shifts, and in the evenings, he would dig ditches. It took months. It took weeks. A year passed. But eventually and finally, he was able to install his pipeline and worked out the architectural engineering of how that water would flow down the hill from down the valleys up the hill. And he succeeded. Now Bruno realized later on that Pablo's life changed drastically because he was earning more, but he was not even spending any bits and pieces of his energy. And he started thinking broadly, how now do I supply, instead of only supplying water to the village council, how do I now take water to even these homesteads? And they pay me a monthly revenue for using my services. And that is how Pablo really became a billionaire. You see, there is a moral fabric in this story. Of course, it talks about exchanging our time. If you to analyze it closely, when you are in a work environment, your time could be the buckets you're carrying, and you realize that you can never trade. There is no. The more you trade time, you can never have enough money or enough financial resources. I see people go from job A, job X. They have a night shift, a day shift, all in the means of getting more money. They are carrying more buckets because they want to get more money, but money is never enough. But another highlight in this story that I actually want to bring to your attention, or even to try to paint to you, in the hopes that it will open up your eyes and you will also embark on a journey, just like I also decided to embark on this same journey a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years back. And this idea is about systems. You know, if we're talking about earning income passively, you need to think of systems. What systems can you put in place in your life that even when you're sleeping, even when you're not putting in the hard work, you are actually earning money passively? And you see, it does not mean you did not invest. It does not mean you did not sow the seed, because building such a system is going to take resilience, it's going to take tenacity, it's going to take vision, bold vision, it's going to take courageous action for you to work on it, it's going to take persistence, it's going to take endurance, it might even take a while, it might take a process. But if you commit to the process and put a system in place, my brother, my sister, my colleague out there, my business associate out there, trust me, that system can reliably earn you passive income. Now, in the line of work that we do as an agency with my friends, with my team of friends, the kind of work that we do, all the way from providing brand identity solutions to help businesses and organizations market themselves, to things like content creation, helping them package their messages, to things like building systems, actually, business systems that are going to simplify their workflows, reduce their expenses in a way that they're going to be able to even leverage time to do more. Most of the things that we do is actually putting in place systems and processes that are actually going to make money for you without you straining an extra mile. Now, if you come to think about this, and this is one thing that I wanted to conclude at, whatever you're selling, whatever you're trying to make people know about, you are going to need visibility. And in the age that we are in, which we call the digital era, if you're not visible to the people that matter to you, then most likely they will not know what you have to offer and they will not buy from you. But I'm here to tell you that from a simple step of just starting by building your digital powerhouse, which is your website, to working on small things like establishing your online presence on different social media platforms, even if you're a charity organization, even if you're a corporate organization, even if you're an institution, an educational institution, and you take these small steps, that is actually a system that will allow your customers interface with you even when your physical address is closed. If you're eager to learn more, if you're interested in being helped in establishing some of these systems in place, I want you to comment or to send me a message or to just go to www.omagoro.com. Just write in my contact section, send me a message. I want to help you. I want to provide a solution that is going to simplify your work. I want to offer you a system that is actually going to create money passively for you. So if you're interested, this is for only people that are interested. And I'm going to give you a discount on the professional fee that I charge. if you've been thinking of an exorbitant figure, I'm going to make it so simple that it's going to be something that is so affordable but very effective for you. So I'm waiting to hear and listen from you. But also, if you want to share some feedback on this story that I've just shared, kindly send in your comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions on this moral fabric of the parable of the pipeline that I've just shared with you. Until next time, allow me to say goodbye.